power of now. I was recommended this. What am I going to talk about? Well, today's vlog, you'll see I'm sat next to the fire. I've kind of not bossed it, but it's going well. It's about snow and narrowboating, and it's the time just before Christmas where we got iced in. Now, I'm not going to sensationalise this vlog. I'm not going to be giving ever 5 ways to stay warm on your boat. Put the fire on, put central heating on, put clothes on, wear a woolly hat, and close the windows. There's 5 ways. And that will be the end of that vlog. You know, I just can't make a mountain out of a molehill, really. Particularly on freezing cold weather, and I think some of the people in America and Canada have had an awful lot more to deal with as far as cold. Makes our minus sort of 12 wind chill factor laughable. I get it's a wet wind, so a wet wind will always seem a little bit chillier. But it's not to the extent that people across the pond have had. So I'm not going to hark on about how cold it is, because, you know, it's just way of life. I was more concerned, I think, for the wildlife, for the goosey, I didn't see many actually, swan and ducks. How do they live? This vlog isn't about that, but I have identified, I took a picture of a swan and pictures of ducks trying to eat on a frozen canal. I thought it was quite sad. I don't know how they cope. They scratch around for a living. I don't know what they do, but you know, those are the things that I worry about more. But it's no normal type of vlog where I'm chatting away, but the scenery is a bit white and I've taken some photos and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, introduction done. Run the VT. Ducks' footprints in the snow. I'm feeling sorry for the ducks, all those water birds that rely on the water that's frozen, and it's been frozen since Friday, and today is Monday, and we had a fluttering of snow. So those people used to snow will say, oh, this is nothing, and it is nothing, but this country grinds to a halt with this amount of snow. The Billy bonus is, although the canal's frozen, and it's been frozen for a while, because it's snowing, it should now, well, thaw out because it's warmer to snow. And let's get myself off this boat. I was going through Watford, and I can remember saying on one of the vlogs, Watford vlog, that I've learnt to live hardcore on the boat by minimising the amount of water, understanding how the boat behaves, understanding about electricity use, power in the batteries, how to maximise that power, and how to reduce the amount of water I use. Because I stated, if we ever get ice station zebra and we get locked in, iced in for a while, then, you know, I can survive. Well, here we go. I didn't expect it to happen, by the way, but it has. And I think I'm going to be iced in for at least a week, which has put pay really to my travel plans to go to Northampton. Also, there was a stoppage north of Milton Keynes starting on the 19th, which is the reason why I wanted to get through Milton Keynes. Fortunately, that stoppage has been cancelled, just by chance. So I can still get to Northampton for Christmas, see family, daughter's coming back from abroad, and I haven't seen her for a while. So that's nice, and you know, I'll see all the kids up there, hopefully, if the weather holds up. Someone asked me about this yellow jacket, and as you see, I'm wearing it more and more now because it's my go-to outside jacket. What do I like about it? Well, it's just as warm as the other one, as the Snug Pack, although the Snug Pack's 20 odd years old. But what I like about this is it comes up to the neck, which is nice, and it's got a hood, which is nice, and it's got a side pocket, which is nice, and underneath this is a buffalo, my go-to cold piece of well, it's what I wear under the outer layer. Buffalo and this, job done. I would buy this again. I've even been on it on the back of the boat, so it is a very good jacket, worth the money, particularly as I got it half price. Mountain Warehouse. I'm not sponsored in any way. I just feel that, like I've done in the military, like people have done, oh, get yourself a Snug Pack jacket, a sleeker Snug Pack, because they're brilliant. We like to share good gen, share good practice. Mountain Warehouse Extreme jacket. I think they come in different colours as well. I got yellow. Stand out. I remember passing that boat with the paddle on the back on my way down here. I don't think much has happened to it since. 5 months ago. But that's a nice winter scene in front of me there, look. Need to come out and get some photos with my camera, proper camera, not this GoPro thing. But I was fortunate coming down here because I left Marsworth on a Friday and I travelled through a couple of locks, and then it started to get, I noticed it was icy, and it was icy all the way from there on in, and it was really difficult trying to navigate in somebody else's tracks because they had broken the ice. Fortunately, the noise as the ice was on the side of the boat, didn't like it at all. And I stopped for water at Marsworth, thankfully. I passed a fuel boat up a couple of locks down, thankfully, and put more diesel in there. I've got lots of logs, lots of fuel, lots of coal. I can survive on what I've got on the boat if I was properly iced in, snowed in, for a good couple, I reckon 6 weeks. I'd have to minimise on water usage, but I could absolutely do it. Only by chance, because another boater told me this the following day, that the boaters, the mooring spot that I'm in, the boat had moved about 3 hours earlier. Oh, if they hadn't have moved, well, I could have moved here. When the sun's out, I've got great solar where I am. Most of the afternoon, even in the winter, great solar. If I've been here, none. Trees block it out. In fact, because we've come round the bend, I think you just get that amount there, next to nothing. Great solar. The only thing is, very poor internet connection. It doesn't bother me really. Yeah, I think Poseidon and Neptune were looking down on me favourably, and I did look up. Thanks, fellas. I did. The ice is starting to melt. See cracks in the ice, it's starting to warm up. And I think what I'm going to do now is go back to the boat, get my decent camera, and come back and take some winter photos. Here we go. Fellow on that boat, 2 down, retired at 31. I didn't ask how old he is, but older than me, that's for sure. Been on the boat 26 years. Got a nice lovely little dog on it. Just wow. Retired at 31, bought a boat and survived ever since. I said to him, it's better being homeless. Oh yeah, mate. I said, I've been there. In fact, he said he backpacked for about 3 years beforehand. So he's probably 60 and a bit more, which is about right. But what a lovely bloke. And these are the things I like, walking across the towpath, walking and finding stuff out and meeting really interesting people. And he's one of them. Lovely. A nice pub by the water, the Globe Inn. Lovely. Even got a children's little playground, look. A very Christmassy feel when the snow's fallen on the canals. Thawings happened, not much thawing, but some thawings happened. I reckon it would take a couple of days of a few degrees extra warmer for us to be able to travel. So perhaps by the weekend, perhaps. Dragonfly. What do they call it? Blue tit? No. Can't think of the name. My brain's frozen a bit. Kingfisher. That's the fella. Saw one of those earlier on. You could see the blue of the back of it. Very nice. Sheep are out. Look. In the field. That's very picturesque. Poor ducks are looking for some food and they can't get any. The harshness of winter is not just about us humans. I've never considered bird life before. Those that live on the water, and now I do. Look at him scratching around her. Keep my hat on still because, well, occasionally I still hit my head on the hatches, and not so long ago, perhaps 2 days ago, I proper whacked my head, and if I didn't have this on, I think I would have cried. I would have done. I've got a system of work on the boat for wood and coal. Well, coal is easy. Put coal in a bucket and let it dry out, and then put it on the fire. But wood, I get it from the fuel boat, and then I cut the wood up and put it in the bow lockers either side of the well deck. And then once that's cut up, you kind of sort of holding area. Then from there it goes into a bag, which I bring it into the boat. And from that bag, it goes to the side of the stove to warm up, because sometimes it's a little bit damp and it warms up there. Now I am mindful that there's a little bit of a gap there between the wood and the stove, so it doesn't burn. But it does heat it up nicely, and if it's a bit damp, it dries it out properly well. That doesn't sound very good England, does it? But it does. And from there it then goes into the basket, and from basket into stove. And I don't really get smoke coming out the chimney because it's all dried, and it gives off some good heat. Anyway, the end of that video, that swan that was resting on the towpath. Normally you get swans that go yes at you. None of that. I think that swan was properly, not poorly, but cold, and realised that people aren't out to give it a hard time as such, and they're just, well, concerned for it, like I was really. Bless it. Wasn't bothered about people walking by, and just thought, too cold to care. There we go. Yeah. So that was my journey through the snowy part of the canals. Now I left the Grove Lock and headed towards Northampton the week after. It took quite a while actually for the snow to for the ice to unmelt. Thaw is the correct term. And I did make my Christmas destination mid-afternoon, Christmas Eve, and I cruised. I can't remember when was Christmas, on a Sunday, Wednesday I think I moved. It was 5 days solid, almost 8 hours a day. Next week's vlog might encompass some of that, but it will be from my destination onwards. So there's a huge gap, I think, in my journey, which when I go back down south I will cover areas of Milton Keynes and stuff like that, because I didn't really stop. And I didn't film an awful lot because it was raining. So lots of cold, windy, rainy weather, which is not conducive to cameras, so I didn't do much filming. Anyway, next week is next week, and this week is this week. So those that have got this far, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, give it a go, because this is what this channel's all about. Just me having a chat with you about real life issues, or my life anyway, on the canal, and sometimes with other people. So until next week, ciao Papa.